Off the top of 10, a deadly shooting in a Prince George's County community. We're hearing from the neighbors tonight as police search for a suspect. A local synagogue suing Montgomery County over its new gun laws. The Rabbi telling Fox 5 how the legislation affects their ability to worship.
Major impacts coming from the upcoming Freedom 250 Grand Prix, including potentially to museums.
It sounds pretty cool. I feel like that'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm not getting near this place.
I'll explain tonight.
Your news starts right now. First at 10, thunderstorms moving through the D.C. region this evening. Montgomery County Fire responding to a tree down in front of this Bethesda home on Bells Mill Road.
And we're wrapping up the work week on a similar note tomorrow. Mike Thomas here with a first check of your forecast.
Yeah, we could do a repeat tomorrow of what we did this afternoon here in Washington. Temperatures in the 90s this afternoon. D.C., Dallas, 91 each. Baltimore hit 92. Storms held off a little longer there than D.C. and Dallas. That's why they managed to get a little warmer, a little above average this time of year, 2 degrees above it. But it felt as hot as 103 with the high humidity out there this afternoon. And numbers like that aren't going anywhere for at least the next 5, maybe 6 days in our future. As we take a live look outside tonight, that is the Capitol wheel, which is drier than it was earlier tonight. 75 Reagan National, Dulles at 72. BWI Thurgood Marshall, 79 degrees. Now, we mentioned the trees down in Montgomery County. There were a few trees that went down as storms went by out in Loudoun County, just south of Leesburg there. And then up north of Baltimore, they had some trees down and some flash flooding reports from some heavy rain up there in the Baltimore metro area. D.C., we did get some rain, not a whole lot of it today, but still a little bit more out there to the west. Now, generally speaking, models say that this is going to fade prior to reaching us here in Washington, but we'll certainly keep an eye on it here throughout the course of your 10 and 11 o'clock news. Those showers that just kind of faded away there on radar north of Baltimore, those were the ones that impacted us here in D.C. early tonight. There's Storm Tracker radar showing you where the rains are at the moment along the West Virginia and Virginia border, just north of Harrisonburg there. These may try to cross over I-81, but you can kind of see over the last few frames how it's fading away more and more. And that process likely to continue as we head into the later evening and eventually overnight hours here. Tomorrow, almost a carbon copy repeated today. A lot of sunshine to start. We heat up quickly, 92, 93 in the afternoon. It's feeling closer to 100, if not over 100 degrees. And then during the evening hours, we have to track those showers and storms. 1 or 2 of those, just like today, could be severe with some gusty winds. Maybe more trees go down. We'll give you the breakdown hour by hour coming up, your future cast in just a few minutes. Guys?
Fox 5 in Prince George's County, where a man was shot and killed in a neighborhood there. The suspect is still on the run. Fox
5's Shamari Stone is live in Hyattsville with the very latest on this investigation. Show?
Well, first of all, I'm sitting in a home here where this all happened, the murder outside, and the homeowner tells me that she is absolutely traumatized. She was sitting on her couch with her dog right here. This is Jax. They're relaxing. They're watching television. She suddenly hears the shots fired. Jax is startled. She immediately stands up. She walks right over here to the window. That is when she looks outside. She sees a man suffering with the gunshot wounds right outside. She then decides, Jax, hey, we need to go upstairs. We need to get away from here. We need to call 911. She says it's the first time she saw a man outside suffering with gunshot wounds, and now we're going to show you what happens next. Tonight, Prince George's County crime scene investigators, homicide detectives, uniformed police officers investigating behind crime scene tape on the 6900 block of Stoddard Lane in the Metro Point community. 3 separate people who live in this neighborhood tell me the trouble starts when a man is visiting a woman on the block, starts arguing with someone, and then suddenly, witnesses tell me a man pulls out a gun, and opens fire, killing the man around 4:30 this evening. And then the suspect drives away. Police say the shooting does not appear to be random. Tonight, people in this community speaking out. What is going through your mind tonight?
Just a wide range of emotions, honestly. Scared. I'm still a little shaken up just from everything. Happy to be safe, obviously.
You just moved in the neighborhood. What's your reaction knowing that this happened not too far away from where you live?
I'm shocked. You know, this is a very quiet neighborhood, and to hear that this happened, just utter shock.
Just feeling really remorseful for the victim and the family. This was very traumatic for the neighborhood.
Very traumatic indeed. And after those shots were fired again, that is when she went upstairs. Jax was trying to follow her. He had a little more difficulty getting up there. Now, as for police, they have not released the name of the victim or the suspect. They have not released the suspect's description or even the suspect's vehicle. If you have any information about this murder, call Prince George's County Police. In Hyattsville, I'm Shamari Stone. Back to you.
And some of the other top stories are following tonight. An Alexandria man accused of a deadly shooting in Northwest. This happened last night in Glover Park. Jeremiah Green allegedly killed Bobby Lee Cannon. Green is now facing a first-degree murder charge. Police believe it's domestic.
New details on the shooting of the wife of the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy. Their son Elijah called police 2 days before he allegedly shot his mother in their Ashburn home last month. She survived that shooting and is recovering. The Athletic reports the 27-year-old told first responders that his parents were withholding his weapons, making him feel defenseless. Elijah Bieniemy was arrested and charged.
A Waldorf man being held without bond tonight, charged with first-degree murder. Terrell Thompson was arrested for an April shooting in White Plains. Investigators say it stemmed from a fight. 19-year-old Tyon Mackay Bias was pronounced dead.
Tonight, we are hearing from the local rabbi suing Montgomery County over its new controversial gun control law.
This is a measure that prohibits carrying guns at several locations around the county. Our Sydney Persing sat down with the rabbi tonight. She's live in Silver Spring with more on what he had to say.
Well, we now know that the county is facing 3 separate lawsuits over this law. The rabbi I met with tonight is a plaintiff in one of them, and in it he argues that the county is violating his Second and his First Amendment rights, and also that it's prohibiting Jewish congregants from protecting themselves amid a serious rise in anti-Semitism. We know that that law became law, was signed by the county executive less than 2 weeks ago now, and it restricts the possession and transportation of firearms within 100 yards of places of public assembly. That includes places of worship like a synagogue. The Silver Spring Jewish Center and Rabbi Menashe Shapiro are co-plaintiffs in this suit, and in it they argue the law restricts their ability to protect themselves while they practice their faith. And while the law does allow for exceptions for police officers and licensed security guards, lots of synagogues, including this one, have security teams made of trained, licensed to carry congregants who help protect the synagogue. The rabbi told me tonight the ability to maintain that level of security is especially vital right now.
2025 and 2026 is on pace for record amounts of anti-Semitic incidents against Jewish-owned institutions, against houses of worship and the like. But right here in Montgomery County, we've experienced some of the most frequent anti-Semitic incidents that we have in recent memory. You really don't want to have to focus or be nervous that, like, oh my goodness, maybe something is going to happen while we're here. So it's really important that in order for us to be able to carry out that basic human function of communicating with our Creator, we want to make sure that everybody comes here and they know that they're safe and secure.
Rabbi Shapiro told me in the last 2 years, one of the synagogue's congregants was attacked, that a man tried to force his way into the synagogue early one morning. Now, County Executive Mark Elrick has made it very clear he believes this legislation helps protect the community, not put it in worse danger. He says the law shields community gathering places from more gun violence.
Our job is to try to protect people, and gun legislation is important in accomplishing that. If we get to a legal point and we lose in court, we lose in court. But I'm not going to surrender protections for people just because we're dealing with folks who are irrational.
Again, we know that the county is facing 2 other lawsuits on this law, one from the Department of Justice, the other from a gun rights group. Jim and Angie?
A judge today formally dismissed the felony charge against a former Olympic canoeist who was accused of vandalizing the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. Federal prosecutors backed off on pursuing the case against David Hearn, noting in court filings the damage to the pool wasn't caused by vandalism, but rather the flawed installation of the lining. Well, the case has been dismissed. The judge has not yet decided whether or not prosecutors can try to charge him again in the future.
More delays today in the Catherine Hoggle case out of Maryland. The mother accused of killing her 2 young children in 2014 was back in a Montgomery County court. A judge was expected to rule on whether her attorneys could pursue an insanity defense, but the hearing was delayed. Her lawyers say that they are waiting on state health records, but prosecutors claim that the defense missed its deadline. They'll be back in court on August 20th. ICE now criticizing Prince George's County officials, saying that its agents were forced to conduct a traffic stop to arrest 2 men in the U.S. illegally after the local jail failed to honor a detainer. ICE says Jefferson Jose Canamo Jordan is a 28-year-old Venezuelan national and a suspected gang member. 23-year-old Felipe Fernando Raimundo is a Guatemalan national. ICE says that both men have prior criminal charges and pose a potential risk to the community. Prince George's County officials say that they do cooperate with ICE in cases involving illegal immigrants accused of violent crimes.
A rare move from Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger tonight. She's stepping in the massive $67 billion merger between Dominion and NextEra Energy. The governor says she's concerned about the impact on electricity bills across the Commonwealth. Dominion has claimed the deal would help customers. Energy watchdogs say the governor's move may protect consumers, but others believe whatever impact she has could be limited.
What the governor is saying is we need to make sure that the public and the public interest is fully represented before the commission.
The idea of whether two private companies should merge is generally something that's best left to free markets to decide.
Now, the move doesn't give Governor Spanberger the authority to approve, reject, or rewrite the merger. The decision still remains with the State Corporation Commission.
We're now learning a pilot was on a test flight when his plane crashed near Fredericksburg, Virginia airport. Now, the NTSB out with its preliminary report after last month's incident. This was near Shannon Airport in Fredericksburg. Family members say that the pilot was testing the experimental plane after completing some repairs. Witnesses say the plane was flying normal until the end when the engine got real loud. 78-year-old Roland Babcock died in that crash. Virginia Congressman Don Beyer now pushing for more air safety measures, and it comes after a safety incident involving President Trump's Marine One and a passenger plane. He says that there needs to be a full implementation of the NTSB's 50 recommendations made after the deadly Potomac plane crash. This week, Marine One took off from the White House without air traffic controllers halting commercial traffic at DCA. A plane came within 1 mile of that helicopter. The FAA is reviewing the incident.